I don't know who's going to win this game, and I think that the parity on the desk accurately reflects how unclear this outcome is going to be. And the video has made this very interesting, so we'll kick it off here on Ancient. And I've got some interesting things to say about Cloud9 CT Ancient with the inclusion of Buster, but for now, they're going to start on the attack.
A map that we didn't see out of NaVi so far this year. A map that, you know, there are questions as to whether or not NPL's been integrated appropriately just yet. But we got Rushley and MC on the buttons, Scrawny and Launders on the mics, and Bit in the middle of the hit with Electronic on the other side. He's just waiting. Pops off, buys time, Berettas find their target, but the bomb's still planted. Only moments faster. And that bomb could have been thrown out into the open. Ooh. Electronic gonna keep this clean, and his teammates are already starting to dogpile forward. It's a nice clean shot from Buster through the edge of the smoke, but now we've got a player on the defuse. They're body blocking, and that Glock is drying up. We've got bullets going every which way. It's a shootout. A good old-fashioned rock'em sock'em donut smoke spam. And NaVi come out on top.
That's a good guy to zoom in on because a great round from Electronic. Boosted up in the A site, and they lock it off because he's the one player there, but he's in such an unlikely position with the rest of the site empty that they forget about him for a second. And the bomb plant is nice. Electronic gives him a small gift, but overall the retake frags couldn't come through. The one smoke of the round was used very well here from NaVi, and Dualies, they have been really just stealing the show in almost all these pistols.
Man, 2 dudes, 4 guns. 60 bullets spammed through that smoke. Cloud9, nothing to walk away with other than a little bit of extra money. So 3 players through B doors already, and we get the boost up from Hobbit. Looking for the contact, but it's not there. It's NPL actually, with a bit of pressure, having to play forward. Caves decides to back it up at a minute 20.
We can now see when the smokes are going to expire, which is pretty cool. Hobbit with the spot. Worse guns here for the CT side. They start to peel back a tiny bit.
Gonna give him a bit of space. NaVi with the Tech 9 in the forefront. Ooh,
okay.
Clean. Insta-pistol headshot. And Cloud9, not overzealous just yet, not trying to pounce on top of that. They give a little time here for Simple to come down from the top of ramp and kick a player back. Ooh, then he slides underneath that smoke. Shiro, nice boost, waiting for it. Axile did pick up a pistol kill elsewhere at the same time. And now all of a sudden, it feels like Bit's MP9 could just topple the totem pole, but smoke soon to fade. At least the first was.
They're making moves, but it's really late into the round. 20 seconds bomb is still inside a middle.
Starting to size up that A site.
We gotta get eyes on Electronic again.
Here he is behind box.
He's got the best spot to delay from. They're not splitting through long.
All good for him.
Oh, he doesn't stop the bomb. Okay, there he's got it.
Oh, and a recovery. Not going to get the 3rd kill, but Shiro's not going to have time for that bomb plant. So late rotation into A. Can he survive? Woof. They're coming at him, but it's all good. Cloud9 didn't like that smoke in front of Cave, decide to head elsewhere. And Electronic, man, that was an easy day in the office. Nice and quiet up until the point where they're desperate for the plant.
Yeah, that was very nice from him. Picked the perfect spot. Especially that late into the round, very hard to see a split in the future via long. And every other spot, maybe he gets fragged out, trying to fight to deny that bomb plant. So good signs here for NaVi.
Does feel like if Hobbit was a little bit faster, though, with that first bit of the miss spray, you know, there was definitely a chance to kill Electronic and him not stop bomb. But slight disjointedness coming out from Donut. And a sad reality for Cloud9. Back to pistols with Shiro on the bench. Gasod getting back on the Simple hype train despite the start of the year looking a little rocky.
Dude, I mean, I feel like he remembers the last map versus Complexity, but the 4 maps before that, he was looking extremely average, so.
You know who wasn't, though? Electronic. Electronic on an individual level, hitting home. And so far, so good here for Ancient. 6-1. And an instrumental stoppage towards that A site. Pistols can't get anything going here for Cloud9. Just trying to creep in some contact, and none of it goes their way.
Such an interesting game to throw Bustard into to kind of see exactly how good he can be, because he's started to trend slightly upwards, but it's not like he has a lot of space. I mean, he's basically just enters again, which means he's not going to see tons of frags across these games, even if he plays very well. One interesting spot on this map on the other side when they switch over, where I actually think this is why Cloud9 picked the map, is because Inters was their cave player, and I don't think he was very good at it. If there's one place to be critical of him the most, I think this is a position where I think you can get a lot out of it as a CT player, and they put their kind of bottom performer in this spot, so maybe Buster is more comfortable here.
I think that was one of the glaring issues for Cloud9's Rio loss to Mouse. He was trying to weaponize Inters when he just really couldn't get that hold going. But we'll come back to that. There's a long road between now and Cloud9's defense.
There was that and other things, you know. I think that the Cloud9 losing at Rio wasn't entirely because of Inters, because his stats, well, they weren't too different from the rest of the year, but Cloud9 were better. I think they just clearly, that was one of the most obvious chokes that we've seen in Counter-Strike, and I think, you know, you immediately say, oh, you know, stats are the reason when you look at them, because it's easy. But maybe Buster can also bring good comms. You know, maybe he is a mood booster.
There's a good track record for James' ex-teammates going to other teams. Not many people know what it's like on the inside of that brain. So maybe. Time will tell. Time for a buy. Cloud9 dodged the majority of the util damage in mid, but guess what? Electronic off the A site. Him and Bit taking individual duels from middle. And with it, a 5v3. Nice.
Very clean.
Yes. Sharp as hell. NaVi shows a little skin inside a cave, and there's 3 NaVi players ready to go on this side of the map. Middle, the most open point. But then what?
We already have makings of a great match here from Electronic. So many duels he's taken without support and won.
Here comes the exec. Try to keep it simple. It's going to leave Perfecto ahead of it. Nice flash out of NPL, sets his teammate up perfectly. And it's going to be the double from Perfecto, dude.
Uh-oh.
Exile just got stuffed. And we're talking about the rifle god of Cloud9. NaVi comes out cave a little late, looking for something of a test through either of these smokes, but he's not even going to see anybody. He just keeps getting hit by bullets. Dink, donk, bonk. Man's dead. And Perfecto, nice play off of the ramp.
Yeah, not a good start here for Cloud9. They came through with a strong idea in the pistol round, clearly a game plan. The way they routed out through B to mid to A. Found the site with one player. But right now, individually, look at the timing on this flash as well. As soon as their smokes come up, knowing the clear is going to come through. I think if NaVi had any questions, they're already answered.
Yeah, we got a fluid NaVi to start this first map. Bit in the pregame interview with Heku saying that in between Blast last week and the start of Katowice, it was practice, 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 practice. And honestly, they needed it. They just looked so rusty off the break. A well-deserved break, no doubt. But if it only took a week to get NaVi back to killer form, they're going to be pleased with that. NPL finally given a chance to fight here. And with it, the first of 5 Tech-9s goes down. NaVi not even going to hide behind that, but rather peek into mid.
Yeah, they have elbow control. I love the double CT pushes. They don't even need the second CT in some of these spots. And it just seems like NaVi know exactly what Cloud9 want to do. Every single player is getting called out with a flash, an HE, a push. The map is feeling tiny right now for C9.
Into the top middle smoke, Electronic. Ooh, missed smoke from NaVi. And that's just going to put Hobbit on a silver platter. The other T's continue to walk up. Bomb drop, Bit. Oof. It is clean. clean and simple. It's free. Axile walks into the scope, meant to just be that late main contact. 5-0 NaVi, real fast.
And it's not the simple show. He's there. He's part of the game. Everything is looking good. Quick start. CT side, and it feels like they're controlling the pace. They are being aggressive when they need to, and nowhere else. Starting at the rounds as simple as you could ask for. Cloud9 will establish with a window smoke to kick things off. Straight into elbow. I think they're beholden to the pressure that NaVi want to put on at the moment, because so far they have been getting out red. Be some emphasis on MPL maybe in a few seconds here. We notice that he's actually not putting much pressure in through these cave walls, not spamming back, participating in these fights, but once again, some more good utility.
There's a molly out from Hobbit that'll find Electronic, but you force him into the fight, you give a chance for him to take your head off. Not gonna happen this time. NPL in the corner can only manage the one frag. It's Shiro with the trade, and it's Cloud9 with a much welcomed man advantage. Inching ever closer to the B site, Simple concerned with mid. Dropping the util, as there is still a couple pieces left. Frag grenade and a flash from Bit, but he's still all the way over at that A site and not moving. So Simple's gonna take an angle here. Both CTs playing long. Molly comes deep off of the ramp. That'll keep Simple busy. Perfecto decides to push up short, 2 kills, and then the trade comes back from Shiro. Simple just gonna be wary of the walk up, but he himself decides to take the initiative, and he misses a shot. Deagle's out, and Hobbit applying pressure. Simple knows what he needs. That shot into Shiro, necessary to stop bomb and to give himself a chance, but instead, folks, Cloud9 find their first.
Completely different story if he gets that kill and pushes back towards the ramp after that frag comes down on his teammates. So yes, we have some good trades being won, drawn into the late round, you know, more classically Cloud9. And Electronic plays a spot at the minute mark that, of course, if he had a smoke, it would have been okay. Tried to play it confidently. If they had walked in, would have been great. And again, these days, if you're not playing window, it's going to get used against you. So we can see the idea is good, but the callout's even better.
Here he comes again. NPL tested, not able to just reside back in the deeper cave, but Simple, different angle, different position, and it catches Shiro off guard. Sweet revenge already. Axile just lurking and looking to come out, catch that headshot, but instead, he's gonna have to double back. Can he get together with Buster?
Yeah, the two-player moves are so much better. I mean, immediately the momentum is in the favor of NaVi when NPL gets his first kill, because Shiro's attention's drawn. He refrags in cave, but when Electronic pushes out and kills elbow, Simple comes with him and watches above him at that same moment, and that's why Shiro's a little too late to that fight, and ultimately that's why NaVi win this round. It all tumbles down. Buster left alone in what looks like a 1-minute save.
Man, everybody take a second. Let this sink in. It's not the NaVi we started to worry about a week ago.
No, they look very different right now. And again, this coverage right here, it's the two-player pushes, the proactivity from Simple. When we saw him in the groups, I feel like, man, he was using the same spots over and over again. I think we saw that, one clip on Inferno versus Halzerk where they kept flashing each other off that position. Well, that was where he was in for most of the map over on Inferno. I think Simple is working hard right now to make things a little bit more creative.
I think, we saw that clip. We also think, specifically on Inferno, and we'll see what happens when we get to map 2, but a very stationary Simple as well, right? Just kind of like, almost felt bogged down. Wasn't this active, constantly position changing, in your face and lethal Simple. That's the Simple that everybody wants to see. Everybody other than these 5 players at the moment. Cloud9. Not an ideal start to the map, but maybe you just take your lashings quickly at the start. Get the war machine rolling. For the moment, it's Shiro 5 kills, nobody else with more than 2. We know Perfecto's looking good, Electronic's looking good, and Simple's looking good. That right there is a winning formula. Quick to send a scout into main. Axile with the bomb and his teammates behind him. Just going to go ahead and see what's up, what's here. And honestly, forward-facing banana control, donut, different fruit. And a deep player in CT.
Both sweet, though.
Electronic able to slide in. Still, of course, within time. But Bit gets caught with a nade out. A little bit awkward, still able to recover at least one kill. Simple very quickly slides into that deep CT spawn. Shiro's op hasn't yet struck anybody down. And so, another missed chance. Electronic able to slide forward, his teammates bolster the backline, and this one is going to come up NaVi yet again. Hobbit can throw the Hail Mary, little to lose, but met by a smoke, kind of just told to sit back and wait.
When Simple's at his best, you're rarely going to see him in retake spots. And here, right now, whatever site he's on seems to be the one that's being taken over. So, again, just so much support. And I really say support because the riflers are finding the opening kills. He doesn't even have to get one after a failed opening attempt. Hobbit? Well, he can walk out into this. There's a sideways electronic, but a sharp electronic. He's plugged in. So Shiro now with this op, of course, fully intent on saving. One step behind every step of the way. And Shiro, I mean, he had this op, but there was only pistols otherwise, so no sweat here for Cloud9 apart from, well, the score at the top.
And that is a reason to sweat. Beyond the halfway point of this CT side and NaVi, all is good. We've seen them tested in really, what, 2 rounds?
And it's at this point where you can get less creative. Thing is that NaVi have been running into their fights, double pushes on Cave, on Banana, inside of mid, heavy mid control. You don't even have to play that way as much anymore, and at this point, I think Cloud9, well, they're going to be thinking about what NaVi have done. But we have yet to see where NaVi will develop. But they're keeping the aggression up still. 2-player push here into Cave again. Cloud9 have chose to give up the early portions of these rounds now.
Like what you brought up earlier about NPL not necessarily pressuring through the walls. This time we do see a bit more spam out of him. But does seem very content to just slip back into the entrance of Cave. Perfecto will lend him a smoke. Good neighbor.
Cloud9 we see, they're holding all of their utility still past the minute mark.
That's why.
Oh, but the trades, man, they can't buy a trade right now.
Nobody there for it, man.
But that's a full kit down, and you know Cloud9 were just saying, stay alive. We're trying to delay, and we're going to go forward with some type of execute. And now plans have to change.
NaVi not fond of just letting Cloud9 sit back. Leave him a gap, and NaVi are going to go hunting. Smoke in front of Bit. This is going to be an extremely tough push to get past.
Yeah,
but, little spam. Oh, okay, Hobbit. Senses the situation. Bullets go both ways. Invitation from main. We've got a couple players that way too. And Simple's gonna get iced out by Hobbit. There he is. Sometimes when push comes to shove for Cloud9, it's Hobbit who goes above everybody else when he needs to. And sure enough, that pressure from Hobbit, those opening kills, and a quick fight out of Axile into Temple is gonna give C9 that second.
Hobbit absolutely saves the day. And we have 3 players who are so low at the moment. All winning their individual trades. It felt like, oh, if their Buster died, well, that's just how all these rounds have gone before. But this is a nice find. That was the last smoke from NaVi. They saved it just for Donut. And Cloud9 were trying to create a situation like this where they had a lot more utility coming into the late rounds, and NaVi found the perfect spot to smoke off as they were picking that site in a 5v4. But from there on out could not themselves win a duel. This is better just from the perspective of individual level. Even if Axel gets shut down jumping into the temple, there's a chance for Perfecto to still win the round. 2 players on 10 HP. But at least we've got a real match now.
It's wild that we've seen Electronic all across the map so far. He was the player who goes down the ramp in the last round. Constantly looking for openings. This round it's going to belong to Simple. Now we've got the donut split coming out. Nice kill from Axile, but Bit gets flushed out of donut from that mid pressure, and he gets right into the engagement, chopping off another player towards main.
Yeah, 4v2 with util down.
Nice lurk out of NPL, catches Hobbit as he looks to gear up and assist Axile inside sight. It is a flurry of kills the way of NaVi. Cloud9 with a little extra gusto, but it's not enough to break through.
Yeah. Charbroiled. Nice shot from Simple, and he was going a little wider there, so there was a tactic that maybe could have caught him off guard. Hit a hard shot and made it 2 with his riflers rotating in right behind him. So I guess he had the molly down deep, and then NaVi runs into it. So actually, I think he had full right to, be that wide. Cloud9's refusal to change their playstyle within a half has been the target of criticism, and of course they are a team that like to take fine details and work on those, and I think that's actually what allows them to beat top teams, have winning records versus some of the best competition, but it obviously will make them look stiff in a match like this, where I don't think they have enough clues to build out from. Maybe if NaVi start making mistakes.
Electronic, does he move? Oh. It dies towards mid, but Electronic looking for the trade. That'll definitely catch you off guard. You just get your mid kill, and then there's somebody tucked close box.
Oh, and dude, that is such a big move from Electronic, because right at that moment, A was looking a little bit weaker, and they know Electronic is I'm going to call him playing flex because he's playing A most of the time, but now they can't simply go A.
Oh. That kill happens through the wallbang. Buster just finished off the little that was left of NPL through the pocket wall.
And now he'll be the point of contact. Oh, Axile wins that pure.
Axile. We've seen it consistently trying to come out from main. Not always with success. And this time, Cloud9 get what they want. Catching NPL on that B site, drew Simple back over, really left Electronic on his own, so there's no chance at NaVi maybe getting a trade over towards that A site, and then in reality, dry duel, right? Axile versus Electronic, walks out A main, gets the better of him finally.
Looks like they fine-tuned some of their dials, and Hobbit as their elbow player at the beginning of these rounds, he was sort of getting destroyed earlier on by Electronic in the beginning of the rounds, but here there's a clean pickoff. I think it was from NaVi as they were trying to push up, and it revealed the insecurity of their setup with Electronic on the opposite side of Cave, on the outside with NPL inside. But this is the big one, and they have to fight, and NaVi actually falls off and nearly wins this trade too. Wow. Great pre-aim here from Axile.
And a great chance for Cloud9 to recover a reasonable amount of rounds on this half. Good to know NaVi have shown up. Good to know Bit can keep things fresh into A main. Axile hoping to get more success like the last round. Instead, first man down. 4 and 10. 12 rounds deep.
That's a pretty big shutdown. Cloud9 play with so much poise. As soon as they choose to release the 10-Chen, it's like when they feel like they have a great chance. But
they themselves are convinced, and convincing could have been NaVi getting the better of NPL on the FAMAS. Oh, again he's going to get found. NPL through the wood wall last round, through the smoke and Cave this time. It's again an X-Factor moment here for Cloud9. They very quickly disperse back towards middle. We're going to get Bit tested. It's not Axile hiding in sight. It's Bit. Ooh, just missing a chance to stop that donut lurk, but he himself gets out, or could have. Still an option. He doesn't realize, man, he's on the doorstep of death, and it could be coming from either doorway. He just leans back. He can feel it, and now they're also carving out information towards mid, so fast on the flank here. Shiro, 17 health, turns that op around, gets a second kill, and it's gonna have to be him and Buster in a 2 versus 4 that's already been made even. Perfecto's pressure through smoke, not on the mark, and Buster cautious of that donut flank, because you never know who else is mid, but in reality, they're both CT, waiting, and it's a combat op out of Shiro versus Perfecto, who has been sharp. But this is gonna need to be clean, and sure enough, headshot in an instant, right back by Buster. A great chance for him to clutch versus Simple. Taps it and waits for the peak, which doesn't come a second time around, and this is down to the stick. Oh, but Buster busts them wide open 1v2.
The new hire comes through in the clutch. That's well done from Buster, man, and that aim looked great. Simple could have survived a couple of bullets and still hit his shot, and instead, Buster plays the time perfectly, sections out the fights perfectly. The post plant was great. Shiro was great. Getting into the site, watching the flank, getting into Temple, and even though he died, he allowed Buster to get an early warning to set himself up for a nice trade. And finally, they've gotten through the money here of NaVi. Finally, a chance for a breakthrough. Those are a few very difficult rounds.
Very difficult half that Cloud9 face. Well fought. But it's not over yet. NPL on smoke. Loses his head to NaVi. Cave control can be taken. It's only Perfecto over towards that site. So all is looking good.
Again, they get their pickaxe out, and teams like NaVi are like granite, and they just work on them slowly for as long as they need to, and it looks like, again, that they don't really play malleably. They just stick to what they know, find details to come through to get a pick here or there in the defaults, and they just trust that in the long run, they're eventually going to work you down, and that's how they win games. In this one, it felt like NaVi's proactivity, all their individuals, winning all their duels, that was just going to be too much. The story's starting to change slowly. And this is where the adaptation from NaVi will be the next test.
Feels like that Buster clutch, you know, in your analogy here, that's the first time the pickaxe really sticks. And then Cloud9 see the effort crack down the side of NaVi's defense as it comes to its end. A daunting task of a T side lies ahead, but right now C9 can be happy they broke through. They have indeed done enough. You'd be foolish to assume there's not more to come. 4 up still for Cloud9. Singular AK saved by Bit. 5 T rounds secured.
Watching these two play is always a pleasure. There's always some interesting things to watch and see. And of course, this is their first match versus Cloud9, but not the first match versus the Gambit roster before it. And I can still remember some of those games. A lot of calories being burned synthesizing the data at hand. Groove versus Blade, Shiro versus Simple.
Love those parallels. Do you know when Maniac and Kassad were...
Maniac versus Kassad.
Yeah, when they were bartering, it seemed, with the auction house leader of Stunna in this pregame. You know, they went kind of tit for tat back and forth, and Kassad put a lot of chips on Blade. Raised him as a reason as to why NaVi...
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Truly gonna win this. The Groove, man. We just know less about him. Shiro, not gonna miss that chance. Neither will Hobbit. 2 individual duels go down very fast as guns are back in the hands of NaVi, and now Shiro can comfortably post up inside of Cave. We've seen this affinity for the site. The defense tended to keep them outside of caves. Right now, Perfecto with a real chance to bring it all back. But you can see that smoke 3/4 of the way gone. It's not Axile inside it.
Yeah, we're watching Perfecto make the interesting move of the round now, but it's from a 3v5. It's quite an overt risk. Looking for a dry duel. Axile taking his time with it. He could use his utility and fall back. It doesn't really scare Cloud9 in any meaningful sense. They'll just be wondering who was there.
NaVi slides out. Back corner player in Bit connects.
He didn't get a lot of info on that peak, so...
Dude, and Perfecto just sprinted over. He's properly joined his teammates at this site, and right now, we actually get Hobbit clearing out A in the meanwhile. Bomb is still, however, moving up that ramp at the 30-second mark. They could still try to bring this back. Axile's gonna survive the attempt. Simple jumps back over to the pillar. Double kill in from Axile. They had an open A site elsewhere, and that means Perfecto's still given a chance, but a nice, long, slow, grueling lurk out of Hobbit rewards them with the final kill and a 6th round to Cloud9.
Yeah, they had players to play with, and I think, you know, if NaVi walks into an open site, then that's an easy choice. If he walks into a stack site, well, then they have full info. But I think they got the worst-case situation where only 1 player shot and killed him, and then 2 were close by behind smokes. But C9, they made sure to press the advantage of the 5v3 by having a lurk come out towards A, and then they slowly came up the ramp, and you have no choice but to respect the fact that someone just made noise in CT spawn, and that turns one of the 3 players back, and that's just enough to loosen that jar lid.
Ooh, Shiro, sharp. Man's been swinging with the AK. Perfecto trying to keep up with Electronic, only a single kill behind him. But also only 15 points of health from death. That's going to leave an MP9, 2 MP9s, and a Deagle for NaVi. But I said Deagle like it's not in the hands of Simple. So we'll hold our breath for a moment as again we get C9, 2 players outside of the B doors with a little expedition from Axile towards A main. That's really what he got this half started with for more or less success. We've seen some well-timed dry peeks into the bomb site, peels NaVi's players off of it. But check out this NaVi creep. Perfecto going back and forth. Doesn't want to leave a gap for middle, but he had an inkling as to that A site coming in. No.
No, don't take any gifts. Okay.
But if he went over there, Simple's trying to... Oh! MP9! Bit senses the presence. Peeks out at the perfect moment. And Hobbit, well, he's got Simple burned back into the CT spawn. A couple of players, in fact, over there. And right now we've got Buster sprinting through this B site, trying to get back into the action when in reality, this one's already over. They turn and watch flank, but now the last 2 CTs just hide. Cloud9 hitting a bit of a hiccup, getting their feet caught on the hurdle. It's still an excellent recovery of a half, but a CT side lies ahead.
Your faces. Hello.
Hello.
So I want to talk a little bit. So like, the team decided to go through some changes recently, and now you have like NPL in the team. What did Blade do actually to like kind of make sure that he feels integrated into the team?
Like he's working a lot with him, like, and all the players is talking with him, like showing his mistakes. So kinda everyone like on same page, helping him. So it's not only about Blade, it's overall Navi.
It's overall now, so it's going to be like also like simple and also electronic.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes, kinda everyone helping him. We understand he's young player, so it's kinda same way like Bithead last year, and we understand he needs time, and we're going kinda our way, like with our academy players.
And I really got to talk to guys like from Cloud9, also talk to Bit, and it kind of seems like you guys were kind of looking forward to actually playing against each other, because in 2021 you played so many games. Last year only one best of one. Like, is that how it actually is? Like, you were actually like looking forward to play against each other?
I know they're always tough opponent, you know. Like we lost a lot against them, like 2 years ago, and we played against them. I don't remember last year, only one BO1, and we lost. So they're kinda, I'm not gonna say crap tonight, but they're kinda good against us. They're a structured team, and like structure kills individual skill, you know. So for us, it's kinda hard to play against them all the time. But we had good preparation, so I hope everything gonna be okay.
All right, then thank you very much for the update. The game is already happening, so I should not disturb you anymore,
Okay.
but thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We're waiting to see what executes Big may have built since they were last on Anubis.
JKS has got to know this is coming. They've pushed all the way out through A. Needs to be ready on this B site, and now he's got Hunter here to help.
Still unknown about mid,
Nice
because
smoke
Zika had to
timing.
go so far back, but they will start to stream in. Now the flashbang is perfect though, but JKS will avoid it. He will be traded, however. Hunter having to fall back now. Use that smoke as a wall, but Nico is here as well. That means bad news for Big. Bomb dropped, and now Searson is alone. No bomb plant coming his way. Instant trade.
I just got to listen just a little bit to the comps that were happening in Cloud9, just like for the last rounds. Once the half was done, right away they started to discuss actually what is going to happen in the second half. Did they like focus maybe like and start discussing the mistakes that were made? And it's kind of like not really clear if they're satisfied with their T side, but this is their map pick, and this is Ancient, and they're going to be now playing on the CT side. So let's see what's going to happen in the second half.
Thank you, Heku, doing the work from the trenches alongside Cloud9 and NaVi. I think, you know, if Heku's saying that they're not talking about that last half, I'd assume they're still happy with it. They had to grind through what was a very hot start out of NaVi. Individually, just looked like NaVi had the better of them. But then things turned around a bit. Simple. Gonna catch a trade here in the second pistol. Smoke still towards Red Room. Gives them a chance, but now that it fades, yeah, I'd be cautious too.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they're reposturing to peek in the middle again. So we'll see if NaVi just let them have it. Starting to run back over towards the B site. No one inside of Cave at the moment. And of course, A is the more retakeable site, and I think that's why NaVi were comfortable setting up like that in the first half. Honestly, they're actually both pretty retakeable. It just kind of depends what you've got to work with. Right now, Buster here smoking the kit.
Nothing, man. Nobody inside of the caves. Nobody peeking down the ramp. The CTs, oh, it's clean out of Axile.
He's got 7 kills, but they've all been nice.
Right? Could be a good sign of things to come. Catches those players jumping to the back site. NaVi gonna go ahead and take their plant. Can they get off site? Yes. NPL slides back into caves. Electronics gonna stick around behind Pillar. And if Hobbit just buys his time, plays this one late.
I think he waits for the trades to come down on the site to turn that Cave player back around.
Makes a lot of sense.
Goes towards the T side.
And PL, though, catches the free headshot. Now they've got eyes on Kit. Perfecto's dead. Axile, clean with it. Coming in big. Hobbit's lurk starts to work forward. Missed shots.
Oh my God.
Ooh, that could have gotten sketchy. But he'll have a kit and get back on that bomb, so all good, Cloud9.
P2K, I think he's screwed, honestly. So that was pretty nice overall. They still came in slow enough to make sure that Hobbit had enough time to take all those shots off, and made sure to lock in the trade. Up until that point, at least for NaVi, they get the bomb plant. I think an 8-7 half feels a ton better, but now they don't have to think about the pistol.
Sure.
But with the way that half went, it was such a good start from NaVi. Cloud9 were trying to prove they were the better team by the end of it. But again, 9-6, it'll be bittersweet. And I think that's probably why they were undecided about how they felt in that moment.
I'm sure those few USP shots out of Hobbit off the mark just gives the heart an extra pump. Smoke at the front of caves. Forfeiting a bit of control here while there is still the double donut setup. Simple wants to rip someone's head off. Feels like that's generally the mood when he gets out of bed in the morning. But right now, even more so. Nobody's gonna face him. Hobbit starts to get curious. It's in his nature. There's nothing towards mid. Nothing but that tucked player on elbow. Here he goes. Util over the top. Remember, NPL Mac 10. Electronic right there with him. Hobbit has extended down to the bottom of middle now. Could start to screw with the players on lane, but instead he's just going to stay tucked in case this doubles back. Kind of comparable to that pistol. NaVi slides out, drops bomb, trade frag again efficient, and that's enough to turn attention back towards lane. So now Hobbit's not able to get into cave. He's got to wait, he's got to fight, and they take it to him. Electronic down to 4 HP as they just smash him back off that mid play, and it's going to keep Cloud9 relegated to the back lane of this B site. If you want to chance your retake, you've got problems. If you want to save your guns, you've got problems.
It was the fluid communication that won NaVi those early rounds to start off this game. And now look at Electronic on the other side of the map somehow. Going from Mac 10 to M4. And Shiro looking for frags, and he'll get at least one, but still 3 alive here as this round ends. And that is a strong showing from NaVi. I mean, first of all, the Deagle kill, and then the pressure on NaVi with the molly, and then 3 players out in the open, ready for a swing in either direction. Well, they had things. That helps.
Absolutely does. So does this.
And so I wonder if NaVi is actually going to be the cave player and Buster's going to be anchoring the B side. I think, you know, he's over here, so we'll see how this half plays out. Things could be more dynamic. And one single setup.
NaVi is going to try it. Good damage. Considering it's just the 5-7. But he would have heard Bit coming at him as well, and NaVi's not going to shy away from the play. He's going to go aggressive, and he'll pay the piper for that one.
Absolutely, though. The thing sticking out the most is just how much Electronic is moving. Like, he's moving as much as Simple is expected to, and I think that his playstyle opening up in that way is what's really jumping off the page. So, okay. Simple listening for window. This is something that Cloud9 did not really use that much, and again, I feel like the best teams in these past couple of weeks have been abusing the T-side lurks through this part of the map. Now, it's Simple not pushing through, but he heard everything. That's what happens when you lose window control. So this is an easy call off of Simple's information, and they're going to find nobody here.
You made a tier list with the human senses yesterday. Where did hearing end up?
It was third after touch.
Third after touch.
Yeah.
Sight, touch, hearing, smell, and taste.
If Simple could touch them, the round would be over already. So that's why it's above hearing.
Okay. He's not going to get his hands on anything. CT's just going to try to move it all forward. So an 11th out of NaVi. That pistol doesn't end up meaning jack.
We're looking for serviceable maps out of MPL as well, and he was very decent in Cave. As was brought up by Maniac, Inferno is the map that he clearly was very good on, actually. Not an easy map to slot into NaVi with, but it took a long time to get good at it. So that's something, but there are many other maps that they're going to come up frequently in the veto that they need to work on. G2 big on the other stream on Anubis. Score there, 12-11 for Big.
Ooh. Tight match. Big becoming one of my favorite teams to watch on Anubis, actually. So I hope you've got 2 monitors.
And 2 eyes.
Oh, we really do have the technology nowadays, don't we?
I heard Gabe Newell has 2 glass eyes.
You just told me that before. You told me not to tell anybody, or else I'd have to watch my back.
I'm not very good at keeping secrets.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. Thanks for sharing. A man who I think has some secrets, Groove. Trying to keep those secrets from NaVi at the moment, but got a tie game on the B stream. You got a NaVi lead right here, right now. 4 rounds up. Guns again to the favor of NaVi. What you gonna do about it, Cloud9? Again, we had to wait until Rio. We had to wait until the second major of 2022 in order to get to this head-to-head. And even then, it was a best of 1. A 16-14. Left us wanting more. That's what Katowice brings you. More of what you want. Top mid smoke, top mid control. Simple and Bit starting to eye up Donut. And we've got no cave control out of either team. You know, we've seen NaVi pretty rambunctious moving in it. This is an anomaly of a round. Axile's armored 5-7. If there's anybody who's going to go hero mode right here, it's him or Shiro. And Shiro is indeed getting closer, so the timing could work out for C9. Axile's got the support he needs. Buster's going to distract the Donut player. 5-7, gunned down. He knew that he could pounce on NPL. He gets the better of him, but luckily NPL's not playing on his own. And the trade frags go excellently for NaVi. All is good.
Yeah, they're vicious on the trades. Looking extremely cohesive. Right there to cover one another. 12th round doesn't spell disaster for Cloud9, but it definitely starts to get a little bit worrisome.
Hobbit, sorry, bud.
Not
this round.
No conversion on the pistol, combined with not winning that last round in the half, which was also, I don't think, a full buy from NaVi. Or they ran out of time in a spot where I think they had an advantage.
Yep.
Yeah, it's these small details in a game like this that at Rio 16-14, after a massive comeback from Cloud9, that was one thing, but you know, it was sad for Cloud9 because they showed so much resolve through the Challenger stage and through the Legend stage, only to undo all of that reputation as soon as they got into playoffs. That's why they said adapting to this new change with a new player is more than just replacing a player. They have other problems to work on.
It's good to be aware of it. But obviously still a daunting task. 2 smokes from NaVi burned in Red Room at the start of this round.
Yeah, so Hobbit spot, very key, and he's keeping eyes for some time. And until they put some more pressure on mid, I think Cloud9 have done a fairly good job here.
Pressure in cave with flashes. Simple, ready for the peek. Oof, shut out by NaVi. Oh,
what a spray.
Nicely done. Gets it back up into Buster. Perfecto emerging through ramp, and it is a very quick hit into the B site, but Perfecto, I think, was spotted as he jumps into the corner. Hobbit reading the situation well.
Oh, they have an elbow player to catch the lurk. We'll see if he wins a trade. Axile, oh, he can't do it.
Bit's got him. Headshot taken down. Bit's 16th frag so far in this opening map. And Hobbit, you can try your damnedest, but you're going to get dropped right with him. 17th queued up, 13th round out of NaVi. And that one just had some killer instinct on it. You know, the fact Simple gets shut down with nothing.
You could see they were
not a problem.
They were looking for that setup too. Simple threw that flash in order to peek with it before it even popped, because he didn't want them to play anti, and even if there were 2 there, he was hoping to get 1. But Electronic right now, he can make up for you, your friend, your whole neighborhood at the moment. He's fragging like crazy. Cloud9 have excellent players, but because they forego so many aggressive opening options on CT side, if another team has a good read on you, it makes it very hard on the rotators if the site holds don't go well, because there's not much time for them to get into position. Shiro was nearly there, but missed his shot and probably would have got traded anyways.
Now NaVi are having fun with it. Missed terrorist smoke meant for Donut, so that's a little awkward. But
Actually just helps him speed up.
Which versus Pistol seems fine enough.
Yeah, no one here for the moment.
Electronic coming into this round with 114 ADR.
Bomb
20 rounds in.
being delivered to some pistoling players.
NPL, my friend, you're going to have to fight for your right to party with NaVi, and it's looking real good. Shut him down, move him out, and queue up map 2, folks. Because unless C9 start to turn this around right here, right now, this is a very different NaVi from last week.
Oh, G2, they've flown into the lead. On the B stream at the moment, 15-12. It's looking a lot better for them after not having a lead in the first half. 12-12 at one point. Don't know if they can close, but
Well, looks like we're about to find out.
I guess... Oh.
Damn it. The tease is too real. Bombardment of utility out of Cloud9. Let's see if they just shrivel up and let this one slide. Whether they can really fight tooth and nail with a ferocious looking NaVi this morning. An even deeper smoke, so good amount of mid-control here from C9 early, but you're going to have to hold on to this for another minute. And NaVi inching ever closer. With that early mid-control, NaVi knows he can continue to play outside of caves without a contest, and nicely done. Tucks into the wall, Perfecto comes running out, lets his guard down, dies. And NaVi not gonna let off the pressure, no sir. 2 kills out of NaVi. Excellent cave play, completely shuts down everything going on at that B site, so now it falls on to Shiro and Axile inside the A site. 2 big names for C9. And Axile keeps the headshots flowing. Shiro shuts down all things NaVi, and that is an 8th.
Well done from NaVi again. NaVi said, let him have it. Have the map control, take middle control. We're going to respect this elbow smoke. NaVi's the one aggressive move after Hobbit peels back, and then he finds the perfect time to get into the action. Down the B ramp, 2 kills by himself. Low HP at the end, but he'd already done his job by that point. So that's something. That's NaVi's 8th and 9th, and I think some of his trades have been key and haven't gone so well. Still some work to do here for Cloud9. If they even want the respect of NaVi off this map.
Their pick as well, by the way.
Yeah, and that was a risk in the veto. And it looks like NaVi is the one actually taking over Inter's spot, so that's something more that's changed.
Running smoke. Nice one. Axile just, commits to the mow down. Clean kill on Bit. Nearly 30 bullets deep. Dead regardless, but that's all right. Hobbit can pick up a little bit of slack. It's Simple's chance to shine. And a counter-terrorist dropping smoke towards Donut just lets him cross over because it's a one-way. Well done, Hobbit. Not only shutting down the momentum behind that, but then doing your own move to ensure it all gets cleaned up. And Perfecto, best of luck breaking through that. Nah, Hobbit's got it. 3 kills to his name. All good for C9's 9th.
Yeah, that's sick. I mean, Exil's visualizations right there. Again, like, it feels like every time we spectate him, he's getting huge kills. But he's 13 and 17, 11 before this, starting to open up on CT side. And in that one Rio map on Mirage, I remember that comeback that came through was all because of Exile. I think he ended with 33.
Yeah, 1.4 rating at the end of that BO1. Blade looking through the treasure trove of info for a solution to what is starting to become, with only 2 rounds straight, the Cloud9 CT comeback.
Of these teams, both rosters with impassive coaches standing behind them. Star Oppers studied each other, certainly quite a lot.
Sharp riflers and notoriously useful supports.
Oh,
But
that
Hobbit,
step back from Simple, and Hobbit's done.
smoke missed again. One that's meant for Donut.
Yeah, they got to think about that.
Not the end of the world, seeing as that's where the 5v4 comes from.
And immediately Bit gets into position to, potentially activate a lurk later. No one inside of Donut at the moment. Cloud9 not in position to re-clear this. There's pressure on Shiro, but I really don't think they're coming for this right away. NaVi know that they've won the map in a very important spot very early. Bomb's going to get collected now and spawn. Clearly the intention is to end B, and nobody's tested Bit, so I think that's what they were waiting for.
Nade does no damage. This Electronic hugs the stone walls.
As soon as Shiro takes a shot, Bit can start walking. And I actually like his rotation.
For now, we're down to the 35 seconds.
This one could very easily come down to NaVi Bit here. Smokes are going to come down. Buster within smokes.
Oof, awkward. Oh!
With the foot showing.
Not ideal. Bit finds his headshot right thereafter. Kills are looking clean. Shiro, though, not going to make that cross free. Molotov down to the planter, but the bomb is already down, which means damage done. And NPL, finally something that he can just laugh at, because he's been on the receiving end of the pocket wall spam, of the smoke sprays through cave. This time he put shots through, and they put Cloud9 down 1.
That's a confident-looking NaVi. I think they knew how to win that round. They knew what it was going to look like. They put tons of invisible pressure on the Opper of Cloud9 to not show himself too early, but at the same time demand impact of him. Got him into a rotator spot, one more punish, and probably could have won the round without it. Bit's lurk goes off without a hitch. Rifler walks right into him. I think NaVi could see it from the moment they got the Hobbit kill, and then everything went well up until the point the site exec took place. That's the kind of prescience that inspires confidence.
Ooh, fast though. NaVi down beneath Bit. Slips a couple shots upside his head. Perfecto can't get that double spray, but Simple takes his place, and the M4's dry. Another re-engagement. This time to Exile's favor, to Cloud9's advantage. And with bombs stuck outside of Elbow, we get Electronic going into the B site. He wants contact, he wants blood. He wants an early kill to then piece together the remnants of what would then be 1v2, but he doesn't get the contact he wants, and so he has to leave without it.
Yeah, he's not thinking about saving. He's got eyes on the bomb. I mean, still over a minute, and looking for an advantageous fight towards mid. A strange approach. But suddenly, he joins up with a normal path on a different timing. So it'll be hard for him to come up with something to do here. We've got Cloud9 playing optimized positions, 1-1-1. Shiro in his favorite off angle inside of Donut. And Electronic, while he knows he's there, he's not fast enough. Shiro will take that one, no sweat. Exile's 2 trades inside of middle, really blossoming here on CT.
Aggressive as well. We get NaVi down beneath Bit. He never saw that coming, just standing on box. Things get a little awkward, and Cloud9 still come out on top of the trade engagement. So all good. Nice second one from NaVi. Little 180. Hell, if his gun wasn't empty, maybe we even say he gets that third. But fast into the lane. Cave pressure, NaVi once again, nice. Catches the headshot to Perfecto, does a ton of damage on electronic, and finds him with the homing missile.
I think it ricochets off the wall for the perfect bounce.
Boost on the smoke though, 2 T's inside, and Hobbit just pulls back. So 2 rounds, the 25th, the 26th, starts off with NaVi drop kicking any type of lane play from NaVi, back to the dirt, back to simple.
Got a direct correlation between winning mid and losing it. Oh, their odds. That flash, how did that even...
That was weird.
Beautiful pop. I think it hit off the wall and then the X-ray didn't show us exactly where it popped, but...
Just got around.
That's a real pop flash, you know. Your teammates in Face It, throw one, bounce off 6 walls, and they call it a pop flash.
Draws the op in. Exile full white. Hobbit's gonna go for the top mid peak. Just sees the gun barrel leaving, so they can't end it just yet. Looks like NaVi are gonna transition into a save. This is C9 with an 11th. NaVi trying his absolute best to run down mid and to shut off this T side.
Yeah, and I think he needs to. And we're just seeing such better rifling play on the CT side here from NaVi and from Exile in particular. Buster has kind of yet to activate. He'll be playing the B site, but I think it's middle. It's all about middle right now.
Oof. Cost effective. So they're gonna go ahead and clear out NaVi. It's only 4 more to go. Only. Doesn't seem like too daunting of a task. Now, does it, Launders?
No, I don't think so at all. I didn't really feel like this game was ending. And Cloud9's last big win versus them was an enormous comeback. And it was a shame that one choke overshadowed how many times they were able to make comebacks throughout 2 stages at the major.
Yeah, honestly, they were on the road to have the best major comeback of all time since Cloud9 in Boston. Felt like that was really this fairy tale coming together.
That was a much better run, though. This Cloud9 only made quarters.
Yeah, but this Cloud9 didn't even get a chance to beat FaZe. Hobbit can't stop him from crossing. But it's going to be all good. Shiro, fine with the pressure. Not even going to drop a shot. Finds the pistol kill. Ooh, and the headshot on Perfecto too. This op will stop you in your tracks.
Yeah, Shiro's there.
Pistol rounds, gun rounds, doesn't matter. You know, go ahead. Keep blocking him off with smokes and spamming through, because you give him those open lines of sight, you've got problems.
I think that's... they're going to keep testing elbow. NaVi, I think they're either going to look for an open mid later or go for the full send again and fight NaVi, Hobbit, whoever else. But again, right now, with those Cloud9 players getting better, well, maybe they want to keep doing that same thing and meeting their opponents halfway. The map is open to NaVi. A couple of full A hits, but I think have only taken place actually on anti-ecos. Full B setup only after mid is controlled. And again, you know, sometimes even versus the winning team, you keep running the same play. Eventually, they're going to be a little bit worried about trying it again. And this is exactly what I was talking about, Bit walking immediately into middle. Now, the thing is, it's the op here. This is a really great adjustment. I think this is a perfect read from Cloud9. We've seen riflers here in the past, but that's more of a 50-50. And if they tie up Shiro and the spot rotators from the rifles can move behind him, but he's peeling back. They don't go for the full re-clear, but it's a huge step for Bit to actually turn this corner and get into window, so that's one thing. Retaking via donut might be a huge idea for Cloud9. They clearly have an assumption that something here is happening. Buster, low kills right now.
Oof. Tough stuff. Oh, finds NPL. Perfecto right back, but dropped by Shiro.
Now Bit walks.
And what does he find as he does such? Shiro wastes no time.
Oh, he got by him.
By the boxes.
He found the timing.
Did Shiro get a glimpse of it? Because
he's coming to clear. He's coming to clear it.
yeah, all right. And Bit more concerned with the CT, but a sliver of Shiro backs up. That was a game of millimeters and milliseconds. And with 35 on the clock, now it's got to be NaVi. Stops bomb. Big kill versus simple. Electronic comes in from short, and NaVi doubles that back around. Just when you thought that Bit had managed to get the best of Cloud9, well, here comes NaVi in with another chance. Yes, sir. All three from the back of long to keep this comeback going.
And full credit to NaVi. If they complete this and make it to overtime, he absolutely saves the day. And now it gets scary for NaVi. They make the play happen that they need to. They even are able to have Bit kill Shiro after Shiro comes back to search him out. But NaVi defends this site. They survived that tragedy. And now it's unclear what NaVi, in my opinion, want to do next from here. I think they can save that potential lurk for a late round situation, but I don't think Bit will help them close it. I think he can come in a post plant where his teammates get trades. And there will maybe only be one more buy before a potential overtime here as NaVi come through at the half.
Hobbit playing around smokes again. It's a temporary cloak of cover. It's gonna hear it, of course. That'll be Shiro to try and go peeking into top mid. But another fresh smoke just goes down. Hobbit can't get the clean kill, but at least he knows the second's there, and Simple decides not to overchase.
Oh,
They've scared him back.
It's an interesting person to put in this position. You know, he's more comfortable. Oh, he's taking an initiative. NaVi goes to focus for him. Oh, he wins. He loses the duel. Electronic wins cave, and they immediately organize.
Oh, but dude, I thought Electronic jumped the gun there, just starting to spam through smoke. When he comes around the side of it, NaVi's ready. But the Tech9 finds its headshot.
And the thing is, even though they leave middle, they know, Cloud9 know that someone was here.
Okay, good recovery here from Shiro. Juggle those guns out.
I swear Cloud9 need to re-clear mid. There's pistols coming into the B site right now. They're leaving.
You've got Util to throw down in front. Shiro, hands busy. That's a low HP Electronic on the cross.
What?
Oh my! With such little health, he's just taking things into his own hands, and Buster's feet burn forward. So 4v2. An excellent attempt out of Cloud9, but just as they get to the final two in regulation, they're gonna have to lean on 100 health of Exile and 26 to Hobbit. A flash here for Perfecto, Kevlar across the board, and the T's who just sit back and wait, they lurk, and they know what has presented itself to them. Electronic with a killer Tech9 drops 2 players inside sight, and NaVi make the most of it. Anubis, Ancient, their win.